I just have the instinct it's gonna take a lot of money to restore that space to habitability. And I guess my ground question, or my basic question is, why the hell are we doing this? We've got this, we're fixing it. I know that Judge Steiger isn't particularly happy with his space, but there has been a study shown of the number of attendees that show up to court in their parties, and it really isn't that excessive. So why not go on as we have been? The town expressed its desire not to have a new town hall a few years ago. Why are we returning in essence to the same issue?
Okay, from all the studies I have seen that were done here in the past, and my experience tells me this building is not large enough to keep the state happy with our court arrangement. I've got a 10-page thing here where the state has indicated that our court setup is completely inappropriate, and that it is. Now, this office building, in my opinion, I had an architect in here, we went through it roughly, but we didn't commit paper and pencil to it. His minimum fee is $20,000, and I'm not interested in paying it. In my opinion, this building is adequate and appropriate for the town offices without the court in it. And this building would be adequate and appropriate for the court without the rest of the offices being in it. Now, that building up there is just about the size of what you propose to build new. And I'm looking at getting into it very cheaply. Exactly what we will do with it, I can't tell you. Exactly how much of our surplus it would chew up, I can't tell you. What I can tell you is I'm not hard and fast on thinking that the town needs to occupy every square foot that we have. You'll find many town buildings, I was in one the other day up in Northampton, where a town rents out part of their building to a private enterprise. Something like that can happen here. I don't know. I do know that building that we're looking at hasn't produced any tax revenue in a few years now. And it doesn't work from a business standpoint. And we're not taking a big building along the Route 5 corridor off the tax roll. That's kind of tucked away up there, a little inappropriate for a retail business. And I think it behooves us to try to acquire it. And then we'll get into hiring architects and figuring out exactly what we want to do. I don't know exactly where I'm going, and that's another reason. This board is going to approve whatever gets done. I can't even accept that building without the board approving it. We're going to be talking about it. Have I answered your question?
Yes.
I admit, I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I think it's an opportunity for us that we should try to get ourselves around.
Bill, I'm all for wadeering every opportunity possible. Couple of things here. I think before we would even consider taking possession, we should find out if the county will let us do any testing for mold or any kind of remediation there, because the roof has leaked for quite a while.
No, I've been in it. Don't let that big lock on the front of the building fool you.
Well, I mean, I still think we should test for mold, any other materials, anything that's hidden in that building before we accept it, because we could be accepting something that costs the town a lot of money, because we would not be able to resell it. And I would be very comfortable then if we had a report issued that said there's nothing there, or what we have to deal with.
Why don't you bring a vendor to the table that is appropriate to do that kind of work, and we'll see what the board wants to do. You know, I'm not against it.
Okay.
Is Cliff able to do that sort of assessment?
We need an environmental test, just to do an air sample and to do a check for a number of things. And
Yeah.
I don't think there's any underground tanks or anything.
It's more modern construction, so I'm not concerned about it. I've rehabbed buildings like that before.
The other thing is that building's what, about 2,800 square feet?
70 by 30, I think it is.
Okay, 2,100,
Something like
okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're looking at, even at $100 a square there, we're looking at about 210,000.
You're talking about putting partitions in and like.
Well, whether we put partitions, whatever we do, we're gonna have to re-roof, we're gonna have to do some,
No, I don't think so.
well, before I make a plan, I would just think we're gonna be at $100 a square, I think. Cause you can't even put up a pole building for less than 40, so, you know, that's 210,000, that's a significant amount of money.
Mhm.
Okay. I would think we'd have a lot of discussion before spending a couple $100,000. Okay.
No problem, we'll talk about it. Okay, that's the pizza. That's 30. I'd like to entertain a motion to pay the bills.
We're gonna finish
Are we gonna do
that.
the resolution?
Main
Oh.
resolutions,
Well, I put the, you know, I haven't been good about paying the bills. I've been missing it.
you wanna get that done and
All
out of the
right,
way?
so I thought I might jump ahead a little bit with that. You know, I've had a lot of trouble in that area.